everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. This video is about food being the priority. But first off, if you guys like the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, do the things, please support the channel. I appreciate you guys. I think YouTube's been doing their thing recently with unsubscribing people and stuff like that. It happens every once in a while. I can kind of tell when it's going to happen. But what should we be stockpiling now? Food. A lot of other things are important. You guys know that. Security, guns, ammunition, magazines, tactical stuff. But I think most people probably have that category well enough. At least, for a little while. It's one of those categories that a lot of people start off on. It's what I started off on with prepping because I'm tactically oriented, military background, stuff like that. And then, you go through this evolution of preparedness and stuff, but right now with the, coming, it seems like food shortages, meat shortages, stuff like that, you guys have seen my calorie production, my garden, we're getting chickens, working on the chicken house, stuff like that. So the ability to produce your own calories is I cannot reiterate that enough. Because any food storage is going to run out anyway. The ability to produce your own calories is paramount. But other than that, stacking food, buy as much as you can. Get as much as you can. I'm talking dry goods, beans, rice, corn, wheat, all those kind of things. Lentils, quinoa, oats, there's just barley, there's just all these different things that are really good. Even like couscous, grits, steel cut oats, all those kind of things are just, it's going to be very important to have a lot of that kind of stuff set aside. But other than that, here, just a sec, my dog's going psycho. Okay, psycho dog, sorry. My lab thinks she's a tack hound or something. But anyway, yes, all that kind of stuff. But along with that, that takes a lot of water to reconstitute. So water storage is very, very, very important. And on top of that also is canned goods. Canned goods, a lot of people poo on, canned goods because of the weight. Yes, there's a lot more weight. But if you're talking canned vegetables and canned fruits, you also get water with them. So, and you can just open up the can and eat it right out of the can. That almost falls into the ration category, which is basically something that's ready to eat right away. No preparation is needed. And that's really good. Canned meats, canned fruits, canned vegetables, all that kind of stuff gives you another dynamic, a depth to your preparedness, to your food storage. That is a vital part of it, as well as rations. Talking MREs, talking things like survival rations, survival bars, SOS bars, Day-Trex rations, different things like that, like the Coast Guard has in lifeboats and stuff. Those are, an important part. You can throw that in your ruck and head out to do the things, patrolling, whatever it is, security on post, different things like that. You can make homemade MREs, you can buy MREs, you can get civilian versions of MREs, which, I don't know about them. They're mixed reviews. But dry goods, canned goods, dehydrated foods, jerkies, stuff like that, as well as freeze-dried foods, like the Augustin Farms, the Mountain House, Wise Foods, all those kind of things. They all have their place. I'm not saying one over the other than for bulk purposes, buying dry goods, big bags of beans, big bags of rice, big bags of corn, wheat, all that kind of stuff, is a much less expensive way to add bulk and add depth to your pantry, to your food storage. So I'm going to kneel down here and just talk with you guys. Yeah, and then along with it, of course, water storage is very important. That goes along with the importance of food storage right now. I would say just store as much food as you possibly can everywhere you can. Make places for it. Fit it in everywhere you can. One thing is you can do that I've done is you don't necessarily have to have a bed, a frame for your bed. Maybe think about getting rid of your bed frame and stacking up, number 10 cans underneath your bed. Or you could do a bunch of totes. We do that also, a bunch of those black totes with the yellow lids, the big sturdy ones. Fill those full of food storage, stack them out the same dimensions of your bed. I know a queen size bed does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let me see, 6, 7, so 9 this direction, and then another 2 this direction, so 10, 11, I think it's 11 totes fit underneath the queen size bed. I could be wrong, but I think that's my estimation. And then if you want to, depending on what kind of mattress you have, maybe throw a sheet of plywood down that fits, that's the right size to provide the, so you don't feel the bumps and stuff like that, and throw your mattress on top. Or if you have a box spring, throw your box spring on top. It's one way to store food, a lot of food that's out of sight, out of mind, just a long-term storage place. Is it the best location? No. A root cellar or a basement or some other cool, dry area is probably better. But sometimes we got to find places to put things everywhere because we have a lot. If you have a garage, if you have a heated, or cool, climate-controlled somewhere, or a shed or something like that, just be careful of what you're keeping there. You rotate through, and watch out for extreme heat. Cold, unless it freezes. And even then, dry goods are okay. Research basically what's good where and the storage limitations of it, stuff like that. Because everybody lives in different areas. Blah. The people in the heat of Texas have a lot more to worry about as far as heat than, say, somebody in North Dakota or something like that. So, different storage methods apply to different people. But I think now is the time. I mean, with the crop failures, shortages coming there, all this stuff about meatpacking plants being shut down. Needless to say, all this stuff with if round 2 of COVID-19 happens, I mean, we could be in for some serious, crazy times. So buy as much food as you can, stack as much food as you can. Bulk items is best for gaining like mass quantities of food. Like I said though, the canned goods, the rations, other things have their place. If you can dehydrate, if you have a dehydrator of your own, if you can afford that, do that. If you're into canning, can as much as you can. If you're having those awesome freeze dryers, Captain077 on here is one of the subscribers, has one of those freeze dryers, working out very well for him. It's an awesome option. I don't have one. I have dehydrators. We can stuff like that. So, but learn about what's appropriate also. Either boiling pot method of canning versus pressure cooking canning. What do you need for what? This isn't a canning video, so just be aware of that. Store things properly, especially if they're going to be long term. Buckets, mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, all that kind of stuff. If it's shorter term, it can be shorter term. Say, some shorter term food storage things would be like flour also, because flour goes rancid, or cornmeal, stuff like that. But also in bulk items, sugar, salt, honey, those all have a very, very long shelf life, if not indefinite. So, and spices. Spices have a shelf life. They just go down in flavor over the years, though. So you may not get they may not be as effective as they were when they were fresh. But stock those also. You want good tasting foods, as well as shelf stable. Anything that's shelf stable, just start stocking as much as you possibly can. It's just, I have a feeling, and my wife does too, one of her promptings, that things are gonna get real ugly real soon. And you guys know me. I'm not trying to, I don't do fear porn. One of my catchphrases is prep out of peace of mind, not out of fear. So, but we need to be ready. We need to be real. We need to keep our eyes open and acknowledge the fact that bad times are probably on the way, a lot worse than they are now. So the more we can do now, the better. We don't want to be trying to prepare when things are going south. We want to be ready now. We want to be ready for things going south. Some people have had the taste of sheltering in place, lockdown during this whole coronavirus thing. Use what you learned. Lessons learned from this. Think about your lessons learned. Analyze what has gone on in your lives, what you're short on, what you could have done better, and improve upon it. That's part of the journey. Constant preparedness, constant improvement. We're always looking to improve ourselves, to better our situation, to better who we are as preppers and people in general. So, you know, prepping is just like investing for your future. It's the same thing. It's just food preparedness. It's preparedness for life versus preparedness for, you know, being able to buy a Ferrari or a yacht when you get older. So, you know, what's more important? I'm not telling you to go in, cash in, you know, your 401k or anything like that, but, you know, you may want to think about priorities and where you want to prioritize things, where you're spending your money. That's part of preparedness in general. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope it gives you a train of thought. I hope it gives you some seeds, you know, to think about, some ideas, and some motivation. So I love you guys. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate all of you, and blessings to you and yours.